Yo, yes, people, you don't know us all about the Millennial View. I am your host, Sprint Ravers. You know the know people. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, drop a comment below because it is important to have that discussion with your friends. Now, a pattern has appeared here. This is the third person from Connecticut to come to the Millennial View. So, it's a Connecticut takeover, people. You see me? Right? But next to me, oh man, I can say that me and this guy kind of like think alike because, we have the same goals. We studied the same major. You know what I'm saying? People, this is the executive producer of his own talk show, and he has a film releasing on YouTube next month, The Sports of Reporting. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Mike Howard.
What's going on? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Not a problem,
it's
sir.
To be here.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for that introduction. I love it.
Yes. I do my best with these intros because I gotta hype up my guests. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I really appreciate you being on the Millennial View. Now, you are from Stanford?
I'm from New Haven, Connecticut.
New Haven, okay.
Connecticut. Yep. And I was born there. I was born in Providence, and then I was raised in New Haven, Connecticut. I was adopted at the age of 4.5 years old by this amazing woman, and she adopted me, and then I came to New Haven, and I've been in New Haven ever since.
Got you. Okay. I mean, I was born here. Some people get, very surprised that, well, you have an accent.
I know, that was the first thing I said when we met today. I was like, you have an accent.
Yeah, and, I was born and raised here. But, I pick it up from my family. You know what I'm saying? That's all that it is. I got to spread the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Can't lose your traits.
At all.
Right.
At all. You know what I'm saying? So, let's get into it. Mm-hmm. The Sports of Reporting. This is a sports journalism documentary that you came up with, and when we spoke about it and you told me the names that you've met, I was like, wait, you met these people? You know what I'm saying? I got so hyped when I saw the trailer and all that. I was like, wait, I watched them on TV and you got in touch with them. So my question to you was like, how did you feel like meeting them? What was the experience like?
Yeah, the experience was wonderful. Like, these are the sports figures we see on TV every single day,
right?
From First Take, even from Fox Sports, CBS Sports. So it was great. They were really down to earth, and this film is really showing a different side of them. So what we see them on TV is going to be different from when you see in their film. So I try in the film. So I try to give the viewers out there a different perspective of who they are, opposed to what we see on TV when we see them on TV. Got
you. And yeah, that's actually pretty interesting because, we always see one side of them. We don't know what they're like off camera.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For example, Stephen A. Smith, because I think he's like the most well-known broadcaster out there. Like, I sometimes I wonder what he's like off camera, because I do love Stephen A. Smith. I mean, I don't really go in depth with First Take and these other segments that they run.
Right.
But I know who Stephen A. Smith can be on the camera. I get that he's very passionate with
his sports,
his teams, especially the Knicks.
Yeah.
Because every time the Knicks mess up with these picks, it's like he gets emotional. It's funny to see his reactions. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's funny, but then I feel it for him.
Right.
At times, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was definitely exciting to see that. But now what did you do to discover the filming? How was the experience for you?
So I produced and directed this film for two reasons. One is the movie Avengers Infinity War influenced me big time.
Best Avengers ever?
I think it's the best Avengers ever. And in my opinion, it's in the top 5 best movies of all time. We all have our top 10, whatever.
Yes.
But it really influenced me. I love the concept of the movie. I love how the Avengers tried to take down Thanos and they failed. I love the mentality of Thanos. So to believe it or not, I really try to have that same mentality in producing this project, and I tell people I believe I have the Avengers of the sports report in this project.
Got you.
And if I have the Avengers of the sports report in this project, what character do you think I am? Only one person has got this right.
Really?
One person. So if I feel like I have the Avengers of sports reporters in this project, what character do you think I am?
Captain America?
Nope. And then when I tell people this, they're like, "Oh, Black Panther," and then because if I'm black,
Yeah.
no.
I wasn't gonna say that because I'm
right,
like, all right, that's
right.
gonna be too generic.
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Yeah.
So I think the character I am is Thanos.
Really?
Every interview I got was a stone, and it was really hard to get. And I got 30
Okay.
of them, so so the movie really had a profound influence on me in producing and directing this film. But
Got you.
the main reason why I produced and directed, and we kind of touched on it earlier, is that we watch these sports figures, the sports journalists, every single day on TV. We watch them, but we don't really get to see them being interviewed.
Got you.
And we don't really see them being on the hot seat. They interview our favorite players, our favorite teams, our favorite GMs, our favorite coaches, but we hardly see them being interviewed, and we hardly get their honest opinion opposed to what they say on TV, because there's a difference between what they say on TV and what they honestly feel.
Right.
And this film is all about that. Ever since I was a little boy, I was always curious about how sports journalists and sports reporters get the trust of the GMs and the coaches to go behind the lockers, what kind of questions they generate from. I always ask, well, if you had to debate any of your colleagues, who would they want to debate one-on-one?
Right.
So things like this is what the film is all about and more. And we have in this film, throughout the film, there's different interviews you will see, but between the interviews, we do like parodies of scenes, and one of the parodies of scenes we do is like a first take kind of show.
Yeah.
So I had me and my friends, we did like a fake first take, and we were actually giving awards out to like the sports journalists we see. So like one of the awards was like the phoniest journalist, the phoniest sports reporter, or the person who wishy-washy and things like that, because we were like, the sports reporters and journalists, they always give out awards or always judge the athletes. Why not flip it around and judge them and kind of give them more? So it's kind of funny how I put it all together.
Wow. Very, very interesting process for that. I have a fake first take.
Yeah.
Like that is alone is just what pushed you to at least get the idea of what you wanted to do with this film.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, for example, right, look what I'm doing now. Right, my dream actually is to be a talk show or radio show host.
There you go.
So what I've been doing to study it is I've subscribed to different talk show hosts like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, what's his name, Conan O'Brien.
Conan. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'd subscribe to them and I'll see like how they really do it.
Right.
And some of them, joke around with their interviews and all that. And I'm like, yo, that's kind of like me, you know what I'm saying? Because my podcast is a balance of comedy and, real life lessons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I also like, make sure I subscribe to like the Breakfast Club and there's this Jamaican talk show because, I gotta, be there for the support the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's this show called On Stage TV that I watch every Saturday, and again, like that would be like my homework. I would look to see how they do it. So what I feel like what I'm doing right now with this, being that it's visual and audio, because I didn't want to just do audio alone.
Right.
Like I'm like, all right, let me just do visual as well. That way they can know the voice and know the face that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I also said to myself as a kid, I'm like, yo, not to toot my own horn or anything, but like my face would look good on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all self-confidence, people. It's not me like, feeling myself or, being cocky or ray. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about the self-confidence. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have the accent like you do, so I'm a decent good-looking kind of guy, but I hate the sound of my voice. So if I had to, I don't have your accent. If I had your accent, I feel much comfortable. But when I do my shows, when I do my interviews, believe it or not, when I do my playbacks, 9 times out of 10, I always have my playbacks on mute for me. Because I don't like the sound of my voice. So
fun fact though, I used to hate my own voice as a kid. because my dad, he would record like home videos of us like growing up, and like I remember like watching one of them like, and I was like, wait, do I really sound like that?
Right.
Because I feel like the way I'm talking right now,
it's different.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, I sound like that.
I feel like that now.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I definitely know that feeling. Trust me, like, yo, wow, I really sound like, I feel like I sound like a girl.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I feel like I sound like.
Shrek.
Like Shrek?
It's like some kind of monster. It doesn't. When we were doing the sound check, even that, like, my voice doesn't sound the way when I speak it and when I hear it in live time. But it's, it is what it is.
I mean, I feel like with broadcasting and media, I feel like it's not anyone can just do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like you need to have the voice for it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if there's no enthusiasm in your voice, no type of expression, it's like no effort being shown. It's like, what, this is not for you. You know what I'm saying? So I really wouldn't like, really look too deep into, oh, well, I don't like the way I sound. That's why I kind of got over it, because I'm like, yo, I'm very expressive when I speak on my opinions and perspectives. I'm very expressive with it. I show, so trust me, like that, I really don't look too deep into that at all. You know what I'm saying? So so back to sports of reporting. How long did it take you to? So the film is finished.
So it's a 3-part film. So part 1 is all done. So part 1 is going to air April 26th, 7 p.m. on Standard Eastern Time on my channel. My channel is, if you go to youtube.com/The Sport of Reporting Part 1, the number 1. And you go now and watch some of my trailers and some of my promos. April 26th, you'll see Part 1, the full film is done. But this is a 3-part film.
I'm actually going to play the trailer for you right now.
Oh, nice.
For Part 1.
Nice.
So people, this is The Sports of Reporting. This is Part 1, releasing April 26th.
Year, I had Molly Kerm. She was a guest on my show. And now I'm speaking to you. So please, you tell Max he's next. Okay. Tell him I'm coming for him.
Or you could tell him yourself. I try to talk to Max as little as possible.
I hear you. I hear you.
I don't necessarily know if it'll be a flip out moment, but
whether you want to single out one player, but just singling out the kneeling, like that's their opportunity to make a statement. That's their opportunity to let you know who they are.
For my show, I wanted you to be my.
You got 3 degrees.
Yeah.
You got associates, bachelors, and masters.
Right.
So first and foremost, let me congratulate you on achieving those 3 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not really like, anyone that would be willing to do all 3. They'll probably just go for the 2, or they'll probably just go for the 1, or just go for the first 2, call it a day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So now you got your bachelor's. What stood out to me? You got your bachelor's in interpersonal communication, right?
Correct.
And it's funny because when I read that, I'm like, yo, I got my bachelor's in communication with a minor in English.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So did you even know, like, before high school that you were gonna study that major?
No, like before high school, I didn't even know college wasn't a thought. Like in high school and middle school, like to be honest, like I actually thought I was gonna make it to the NBA. I played basketball for a long time.
Okay.
My name is Michael. I'm black, so I just put 2 and 2 together, and I really thought for a long time I was like, I'm gonna go to the NBA. So college wasn't really on my radar. And then my senior year of high school, when I knew I was gonna make it to the NBA, I knew I had to go to college just because to make my mom happy. But it wasn't for me, though. And I always tell people, if you're going to go to school, go for you. And if you want to take a couple years or 5-6 years off, then do that. But go because you want to go. So I went to community college, and it took me 5 years just to get my associates because I was on and off academic probation. I really wasn't as focused. So going to college wasn't, on my radar for a long time. Even when I got my associate's degree, when I went to Southern, I was like, I probably won't get my bachelor's. I'm probably going to drop out within a semester or 2, but I'm just going to get my mom off my back and stuff. But I was a lot more mature, so I was fortunate to kind of follow through and get my bachelor's degree.
That is so.
But I tell people I was 28 when I got my bachelor's degree, and I tell people when people go to college and if you're 30s and 40s, what I realized when I got my bachelor's degree is at the end of the day, it's not a race, because when you get your degree,
Thank
you
you.
come in first place anyways.
Thank you. Exactly.
So a lot of people out there, for your parents, if you have listeners who are parents and people who are older, if you're still in school, definitely, if that's what you want to do, then go for it. Doesn't matter if you're 40 or whatever. You know, I thought 28 was really too old, and now it's 2021. You know, you have people in college in their 50s, 60s,
Absolutely.
whether they're getting their second degree or third degree.
Yep.
So, and I will say this, my philosophy of college is this, though. My philosophy is this: college is for everybody, but you don't need college to be successful. So that's my that's my philosophy. So
Philosophy, people, you wrote that down, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure you wrote that down. You in the back? Yeah, I know you wrote that down. And, you know, I like how you mentioned that, you know, your mom was really like, you know, on your back, because I had this conversation on another show, Big Up No Topic TV. I was explaining that, you know, our parents really like want us to only acquire a good education, acquire a good job, and make money. They never really like got in debt with our personal life, our social life. They never really gave us passion. They never. It was just all about get these good grades.
Right.
I want to see A's, B's. I want to see what's a good score on the SAT? 1800 on the SATs. Woo. Yeah,
not me.
That's all they wanted to see, and it's like, but what about what I want to do?
Right.
What about my passion? What about my goal? Are you gonna help me with my relationship problems?
Right.
You know, no, for real.
Right,
like it's a real thing. Like they really don't get in debt with that, and it's like, I feel like, you know, the next generation that want to be parents. Mm-hmm. I feel like, you know, we have to at least, like, you know, change. I don't think we should, like, you know,
be more into it with our children.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? At least raise.
I get that.
Still raise them good.
Yeah.
But be kind of different with it.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Exactly.
I think for my mother, like, my mother is the best mother in the world. I love her with all my heart. And so a lot of that kind of didn't apply to her, but in the early stage of my life, at least when she adopted me, she thought, you know, I was going to, my adopted sister, she went to Yale University. So I think for the first couple of years, she was not comparing, but she wanted me to be on that same path as my sister. And it wasn't until a couple of years in, then she realized, Michael is not going to go to Yale. Right. You know, doesn't have that same potential as his sister. And I think when I started my talk show in my senior in high school, she kind of came around and said, he really likes doing this. He's doing this, so let me be supportive. So
got you.
So I kind of understand about, you know, the parents being more into it with their children and child passion. And my mother, for the most part, has always been supportive in the program, because, you know, your listeners and your viewers, I'm sure they know. You don't get paid. I don't get paid for my show. This is something
I don't get paid. Yeah,
this is something. Right. I always say that I don't get paid yet. Right, exactly. That's the mindset you should have. But that's just a testament of how much you love what you're doing. You love doing your podcast. You're doing this. And I always tell people, like, my anniversary of my show is tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be 15 years since I started my show. And I tell people,
congratulations.
No, thank you. Yeah. And I tell people, you know, I don't get paid. I don't have sponsors, you know. And I tell people, you truly find your passion when you do something and you're not really worrying about the money. You're not worrying about what someone is saying.
Exactly.
How long are you willing to do? Are you willing to do your passion for 2 years without pay, 15 years, 20 years? Right. So, you know, I get it.
Everything is definitely a process, you know what I'm saying? And again, congratulations on 15 years of the talk show.
Yes, the talk show. Yeah.
So now, how did that come about? Like, you are the executive producer of your own talk show, and it's local on Citizens TV. Is that our local network in Connecticut?
Yep. Absolutely local, and then I upload the stuff on YouTube and Vimeo sometimes.
Got you.
But yeah, I'm the executive producer. I started my senior year in high school, so like I said, tomorrow is gonna mark the 15-year anniversary. And CTV is a local station in New Haven, Connecticut.
Got you.
One day, the beginning of my senior year in high school, I walked in and I said, "How can I start my own talk show?"
Yeah.
They showed me what I had to do. I had to take a lot of classes, learn how to become a camera operator, audio engineer, producer, director, but everything is free. I am like in CTV lease here in New Haven. Everything is free. You don't pay for anything. If you want to take the cameras out to like practice, they let you take it out. So, I mean, I really went on my pace. But the beginning of my senior year, my goal was to start my talk show before I graduated. Like I wanted to graduate high school, the students and my teachers knowing that I'm a talk show host. So it was intense because I took a lot of classes. Because for me, I had a timeline, but you don't have to have a timeline.
No, yeah, I agree with that. Because the funny thing is that when I was in high school, my dream was to be a professional sprinter.
Okay.
I ran track for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So that was my goal, to go to D1 school and hopefully, go to the Olympics or go pro.
No, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I wanted to be in the sports field as well. So with, sports management, that was actually the first major that I picked up when I went to a school in North Carolina, St. Augustine's University. It's an HBCU in North Carolina. Yeah, so I picked that up, and then, after a year, it's like, okay, I kind of like don't want to do this. Like it was a lot of like moving around. So it's like, do I really want to like do sports management? Right. I feel like some of us, like back then, we overlooked like talents that we've always had. And no, it takes a few years for us to realize that, oh, maybe I could like put this into work, and then I can, practice and see where it can go. You know what I'm saying? So for me, public speaking was never an issue to me.
Me too.
Which surprises everybody, because everybody hates public speaking.
Yeah, it's one of the number one American fears. Like, it's not spiders, it's not ghosts, it's public speaking.
Exactly. So, talking in front of everybody, they don't want nobody to laugh at them. They don't want nobody to feel like, oh, I'm bored, I don't want to listen to this, yawn. Like, and it's like, again, it's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So when you're enthusiastic and you're expressive, when you have personality, people, when you have personality, it's like, oh, yo, right now, this is nothing. You know what I'm saying? I took a speech class in community college, and the professor wanted us to, make an outline for the speeches, and then, everyone will read the speech off the paper. You know what I did? I never read off the paper.
All right.
I would rehearse the speech.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying?
Memorize what you're gonna say.
Memorize
that's
everything.
How I do. I can't really comprehend something that's on a paper and then speak to people and then still get that same, enthusiasm, because I can't do both.
Absolutely.
And everybody's different. But yeah, I always, like, even my show, I always write the questions down ahead of time, and then I tell my friends I have like a borderline photographic memory, so I just remember the questions. And
you know what's funny? I didn't write down the questions for you. I just knew what I was gonna. I just knew what I was gonna ask you, because I'm like, yo, me and this guy kind of like relate.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying?
Definitely, absolutely.
So I'm like, yo, I mean, most of my guests, I don't write anything down.
Okay.
Like, if anything, it wouldn't even be a question that I would write down. I would write down like a guideline that I'm gonna ask them. Like, so I would like write something in a short sentence. Right. Like, oh, discovery of music. If I'm interviewing an artist, and then I would ask them, well, when was it that you discovered your love for music? Right. Boom. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even have to write that down. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if I write it down, it's gonna feel scripted and forced. Yeah. And we don't want nothing to be forced. You know what I'm saying?
Make it look organic as possible.
Exactly.
That's
cool.
Know
what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So, I again, that comes from me studying these hosts.
No, there you go.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
But yeah, like, public speaking was never an issue for me. You know what I'm saying? I even started, leading group projects. Right. You know what I'm saying? I did most of the talking and all that, and I didn't even mind that. I didn't care. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, I'll make sure like my other teammates would like, do their part. Right. But yo, like, when it comes to the talking, I'm like, yo, I can do most of the talking, and if you want to chime in. It's all good. As long as you did your part, it's fine. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I even hosted a show, a dancehall show, because I'm into dancehall. Right. I hosted a show 2 years ago at my college that I graduated from, Big Up U Albany. I hosted the show alongside someone else, but the host didn't show up. So fun fact, I'm not even gonna lie, this was like my first like major show.
Right.
So the nerves was there, and I actually broke down. I dropped the mic and I walked off because of the fact that
You had a rabbit moment from 8 Mile.
yeah.
He had a rabbit moment.
Yo,
But that only made him better, though. That only made him better.
Yo, like the thing is that the guy that I was supposed to host it with, like he was, I don't know if he wasn't showing up or if he was running late. So it's like, oh, what am I gonna do?
Right.
You know, I felt like what a word, overwhelmed. I guess I
Yes,
could say
definitely overwhelmed.
I felt very overwhelmed.
Pressure, stuck.
Yeah, I felt stuck, and I'm
Right.
like, yo, like what the hell? But then I came back out like after like the first group went and performed.
Okay.
Did that, and then I came back out, and I'm like, yo, I started like getting the hang of it. Like
Right.
I ran like most of the show by myself until he showed up, which is cool and all. Like I still big him up for that. You know what I'm saying? But majority of the show, and then people came to me like, yo, you did good. You did good.
Oh, good.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's when I said to myself, I'm like, yo, I need to start something like this.
Right.
You know? Because, again, I graduated with a bachelor's in communication. And I said to myself, I'm like, yo, I kind of want to do, like, talk on
Right.
radio. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But then I'm like, you know what? Let me just start with a podcast and put it on YouTube. And this other podcast actually inspired me to, pursue this. Big up, let's be honest. They definitely inspired me to start this journey, and I definitely see it going far.
Good.
You know what I'm saying?
I do too.
Yeah, and then now
Definitely have the potential. So.
Yeah, and then you have your local talk show. I saw that, and I like the setup of it.
Yeah.
When you was interviewing what's her name? I can't remember her name because I'm not.
Is she a poet?
Yes.
Maya Angelou.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Maya Angelou. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I saw the setup, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, I want to touch upon the names, the other names that you've encountered.
Yeah.
So I saw Danny Glover.
Yeah.
I saw Linda McMahon.
Yeah.
I saw Tony Harp. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, are you a celebrity yourself? Playing?
Nah, not at all. Not at all, man. Nah,
Yo.
like I tell people like, and I told you like at the end of the day, I've been doing this for 15 years. My goal is to do it for 5 more years and call it quit.
Got you.
I feel like if you do anything for 20 years in life, whatever it is, that's a huge accomplishment in my opinion. Anything, if it's a teacher, if it's a business owner, whatever, a podcast, whatever, media, if you do anything for 20 years. So I want to do it for 5 more years. My passion isn't as where it was 10 years ago. So I know that's kind of fading away. But at the end of the day, I want to be known for I want to be one of the best producers / interviewers of all time.
Got you.
And when I mean producers / interview, I produce all my shows. I produce all my segments, right? And then at the end of the day, I am the one who's executing the interview because I'm the one who's doing the interview. So at the end of the day, I just want people to know the hard work that I have put in and something that I truly love.
Right.
And that's my goal. And I've been fortunate and lucky to interview some of these people, whether it's on a local level or a national level. And people say, Mike, you were the last person to interview Dr. Maya Angelou. So she was a guest on my show, and then 2 weeks after she passed. So I was the last person. Connecticut wrote a nice little article on it about it. And people say, well, Mike, who's your favorite? What's your favorite show? Is it Dr. Maya Angelou, or is it Misty Copeland, Linda McMahon? Is it Russell Simmons? And I say, my favorite show is the next show. Keep going. This guy, Dr. Maya Angelou, she's an amazing woman. There's some shows that probably, stand out more than others, but I don't really have a favorite show because each show I put in 100% of my hard work and time. So
Absolutely.
To say that Maya Angelou is better than a show that I did with a student athlete in my hometown would be messed up because I put just as much hard work for the local show for the local athlete than I did with Maya Angelou or Russell Simmons or Danny Glover. So
yeah, and I tell my people the same thing. I'm like, yo, I don't necessarily have a favorite show, episode, whatever you want to call it. I don't really have a favorite because I always look forward to who's coming
Right.
next on the show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know that they're going to deliver.
Right.
I chose them to be on the show for a reason.
Right.
Because I know that you're going to deliver. It's all good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, absolutely. Yeah.
It's funny though, because for me though, I don't know about you, when I do interviews, and then if I'm fortunate enough to interview someone big like Stephen A. Smith or Maya Angelou, maybe moments or days before the interview, I'm like, it doesn't get better than this. And then literally after I interviewed them, I'm like, my mind said, all right, let's go. Like, what's the next one? Like, I remember just like it was yesterday, the day I interviewed Stephen A. Smith, I was like, wow, I interviewed Maya Angelou years ago, and now I'm interviewing Stephen A. Smith because I'm a huge ESPN fan. I was like, it doesn't get better than this. And then I think I went out to lunch with one of my producers later on to celebrate. And I was saying to myself, I'm ready for the next one. Like, all right, Stephen A. was good. He's a great journalist, but let's go. So, like I said,
keep going.
Keep going. Just keep going.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely some good stuff there, yo. Yeah. But, Mr. Howard, it was definitely a pleasure.
No, it was a pleasure. It was an honor. Thank you. For your listeners and viewers, please, I'm begging you, April 26th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you go to youtube.com/The Sport of Reporting Part 1, you'll see the full film. This has never been done before, like never, as far as a common person like you and I, and getting a collective of all these sports journalists. And Part 1 is all about sports journalism.
Yes.
All about sports journalism. So it's going to be a great to see.
Got you. Absolutely. Tell the people they can find you on social media.
You can find me at Michael Howard at Facebook. You can find me on my Instagram, The Sport of Reporting Part 1, Twitter, The Sport of Reporting Part 1, and my YouTube channel. Like I said, if you go to youtube.com/The Sport of Reporting Part 1, you can watch a lot of the promos and trailers. And April 26th, 7 p.m. You don't want to miss it. And it's only an hour and 15 minutes long. This is a 3-part film, so I really base it off like the first one is the appetizer. Part 1 is the appetizer. Part 2 is going to be the meal. And then part 3 is going to be the dessert. So I don't want to show too much in part 1. So it's not going to be long and crazy, but it's going to be entertaining at the same time.
Should I show them what you got me?
Heck yeah. I would love that.
Yeah, let me grab this thing real quick.
I have a shirt too. They really can't see.
Oh, you got it on?
No, mine is different. I have like different ones, but yeah.
Yo, so people, Mr. Mike Howard was, very kind enough to give me some shirts on the if you want, if you don't mind. Yeah. So see that? You see the logo right there? Yo, the Sport of Report.
Those are just some of the people I interview, not all of it. Just some.
See, look, Stephen A. Smith all the way on the end, right there. Jesus Christ, I was like, wow.
So no, I had to. Thank you.
You gave me like 3 of them.
Man, represent. And if anybody want any of those shirts, you can always FaceTime me on Mike Howard, or like I said, my YouTube channel, The Sport of Reporting. I would love to have people from New York represent, because obviously everybody wants to be where New York is. So
absolutely,
if you want one of those shirts, I'll definitely give them to you.
Absolutely, so. Yes, definitely a great gift, Mr. Mike Howard. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And there you have it, people. That is the Millennial View. This is season 2. Season 2's coming to an end, people. If you haven't caught up, you got some work to do. That's your homework assignment. You know what I'm saying? For my new subscribers as well, catch up. This is the Millennial View. Sprint Rivas alongside Mr. Mike Howard.
Yes.
People.
Congratulations too on your success, and keep going.
Thank you so much, sir. It's all about the content I'm putting out there. I just want to spread the positivity to the people. Full of vibes. You know what I'm saying? And this is me saying, I'm out.